the revision of the bylaws. We're not going to take any action on that. So I think that's the change. Those are the changes to the agenda that I'm aware of. Anything else that needs to be reported before we approve the agenda?
Approval agenda.
Move to approve the agenda. Was that Betsy?
Yes.
Who's second?
Seconded.
That's Bob. Bob seconds. All in favor, say aye or wave your hand.
Aye.
Any nays?
Does this count as two? Can I have 2 votes if I do this?
Say again. Any abstentions? No. Okay. Passes unanimously. Public comment. Do we have anybody in our meeting who's from the public who would like to make a comment relevant to the CHHS board?
I have something. I'll get out of the way early.
Go, Gordon.
So there's a lot going on right now with homelessness and a lot of things, you know, that we're gonna address tonight. And I know that we're not even close to getting a workforce development committee. But what I would like to know, as I go out and recruit people to be a member of this committee, and possibly or a member of the board to be on the workforce development committee, what does the CHS board have to offer to to attract people to get involved in this? You know, hey, would they even want to be on a board with the CHS board to address workforce development? Now, I haven't had a good explanation to me about what we're supposed to try to do. And does it involve having access to city funds for different types of projects that might be presented? Is that would be about a workforce development committee? Yeah, why, you know, is it just to bring ideas to the board and on ways to invest in some type of workforce development project? Is that what it's all about? I just have no guidance, nobody to turn to talk about this. And I know, you know, we're a ways from it. I understand that. But as I talk in the community to possible players, possible people to be on the board, that might have something to do with housing and employment, you know, you know, who should I go after? So I just need some help and guidance. Yes.
I don't have an answer for you, Gordon. I don't know. Anybody have an answer?
But I'll tell you what, I think this is an exciting time for someone to consider being on workforce development. With a lot of the bills moving through the state around homelessness and employment, there will be funding. I would hazard that some of it will go through CHHS, through the city, and how we can help direct that and support whatever entity wants to take on that work. We won't do it, but if there's organizations out there that we can help them leverage their position and or grow or expand capacity in their programs, I think that's where we will be in the next year.
Can I?
Thank you, Betsy.
You know, poor Gordon came on with the understanding there was a workforce development committee, and then it got pulled out from under us. Just some background for you. And he's hung in there. And every year he says, we need a workforce development, and he's right. It was one of our goals. It was one of the things that we wanted to put in place. But I really think it's a discussion that maybe having Gordon come to the executive committee and sit and talk about what are his ideas for the committee and how would it best benefit both our board and also the community. At the time, I think the mayor, and this was Condon, set up his own workforce development committee. And so that was part of the reason that we lost it. So I think it would be a great discussion for the executive board. We've talked about it in the past, but now with new executive board, sort of what would be the goal? What would be the benefit? Why would you want to have this as an additional committee? And you can always form new committees, and you can do ad hoc committees. So that would be my recommendation moving forward. And Gordon brings in really good points. I think a lot of us are on the board for other reasons than workforce development. It's a way of giving back to the community. It's a way of being involved. There's major questions that have been asked over the years as I'm leaving. Next month will be my last meeting. So I think each one of us can say, here's why I've been on the board, Gordon. Looking at it, it's more than workforce development. So yeah, good questions though.
And I'm also just realizing that in revising the bylaws, if we're talking about adding a workforce committee, we're going to need to think about that.
No, it's easy. That's easy, Jerry.
Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
That's easy. Yeah, that's in a separate section from the bylaws. That's in the community governance, and yeah, and I think in the bylaws we have how you add a committee. So
Okay,
easy.
well, let's make sure that you and I are on the same page of that, so we have some of that transfer of knowledge before you leave.
Okay. All right, will do.
And Gordon, I'd like to just, you and I talk sometime outside the meeting so I can get a better sense of what you're hoping for and just so I have a better sense. Anybody else have a comment for Gordon?
All right, Barry, thanks.
Okay. Public comment. I think I need to make sure, at least for our minutes, who do we have here? I know many of the names that I see a Tessa Hilat. Tessa, are you just visiting?
It's Tessa Gillett, and I am in the CHHS department as a program professional. So just like to listen in every month.
Okay. Are you new in the department?
I started in November, and I believe I did an introduction at the December meeting. So still fairly
I'm
new.
sure you did. Sorry, I forgot. Okay. I see Paul Rock. You were here at a previous meeting. I think you're just observing. Would that be right?
That's right. Thanks, Barry.
Okay. And I see one colleague there that don't know who that is because there's no name attached to it. You want to identify yourself?
Yep, this is Brian McClatchy. I'm the policy director for the City Council.
Oh yeah. Hi, Brian. Welcome.
Hello.
Okay.
Thank you.
There. Kelsey, you've got the names for the minutes. So I'm assuming public comment. Anybody else? Any other public comment before we close that? Next item on the agenda is approval of the December and January meeting minutes. I read through them. They look fine to me. Anybody read through them and see a problem or correction to be done?
Separately, or can we do them both at the same time?
Anybody know the answer to that?
You should be able to do them at the same time.
All right, then I'm going to do them at the
One
same time.
motion.
Here-
Approval of the minutes.
Okay, Betsy so moves that we approve both January and December minutes.
I second.
Seconded by Gordon. Thank you, Gordon. All those in favor say aye or wave your hands.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? No? Okay, thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is we have 4 individuals. Let's see, I'm not sure if they're all here. I'll just go through them and see if we get them here. Who have applied to be on the board. The executive committee has set February 17th afternoon to interview them. I invited them to come and just say hello, say who they are, tell us a little bit about themselves. and just kind of briefly introduce themselves so we know who they are. And we'll have the interviews in a couple weeks, and the executive committee will come back soon at the March meeting with some recommendations on that. Let's see. Karen. Karen, can you introduce yourself and pronounce your last name, because I don't want to mess it up.
Thank you, Barry. It's Karen Stepanakita, and I'm having it's my first experience on WebEx. I'm having difficulty, just as a heads up, when I press the little microphone button, it just says muting, but it doesn't actually mute. And we have some construction going on, so I'm to leave the if it gets noisy. Anyway, wanted me to introduce myself?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I am a retired nurse. I moved to Spokane about 6 years ago. It's turned out I love the city, but the driving force in coming here was the affordability of housing, because in Bellingham I would have had difficulty finding a place I love to live for anything I could afford to live. And since coming here, I've been trying to learn through volunteering more about city needs and have an informed approach, and maybe find a way to get involved in some of the issues to maintain a diverse community, affordable people. And so when I saw the opening opportunities, I decided to apply and selected. I feel well informed as far as the information about the expectations on time. All sounds very interesting. So thanks for inviting me to this.
Okay. Thank you, Karen. Thank you for your interest. Barb Lee, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Barb Lee. I've lived in Spokane over 40 years. I went to SCC, became a nurse, and have been a nurse of 35 years. I think that's a lot of my driving force to look into this board. I'm dedicated to healthcare, and you can't be healthy if you have no place to live and you have no food. So you got to get the foundation down first to achieve any kind of equality in healthcare. So that's kind of what has moved me to look into this board. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Barb. And there's this person some of you might know, David Lewis. You have applied. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, thanks, Barry. And I've some of you may recognize me. I've had the pleasure of attending many of these meetings. Just a few quick things about myself. So I've lived in the Spokane area for 15 years. I came here to complete my MPA degree at Eastern. Met my wife here at Gonzaga Law grad, and we loved the area, so we stayed. And I continue to, even though I have moved on from my previous role, the Community Housing and Human Services Department. I served 12 years there as the Community Management Information Systems Administrator. As part of that, I had the pleasure to grow our HMIS, turning it into a CMIS and to the state that it is today, and had the opportunity to co-author a lot of the early agreements that helped to connect all these different agencies together. I now work at Ecovia, which is a software provider that specializes in homeless management information systems and addressing social needs like refugee resettlement, food is medicine, and so running a wide range of social need issues. I'm the head of strategic programs with Ecovia. I'm also the vice president of the National Human Services Data Consortium, which is the national body that oversees a lot of the HMIS, for those of you that have heard the acronym, a lot of the HMIS focused efforts. I've also been a special advisor to the HUD SNAPS office on point in time count efforts and other data collection needs related to homelessness. So I'm really excited to be here. Appreciate the consideration. I'm very passionate about social issues like homelessness and racial equity and social equity issues in general. and would love to be able to continue to stay engaged in the community and appreciate your consideration.
Thank you, David. And our final applicant, Lisa Diffley. Can you introduce yourself? Can't hear you. I don't know if you're muted or if your microphone's not on.
There we go.
There you go.
You hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, I'm Lisa Diffley, and I have been in Spokane for about 15 years. I've lived in the state of Washington my entire life. I'm a graduate of WSU, where I studied psychology and human behavior. And last year, I received my servant leadership certification at Gonzaga University. I've worked as an executive director in the nonprofit sector since 2007 here in Spokane, leading a grant-making organization and evaluating numerous funding requests to many of our local agencies here in Spokane, and then currently as a direct service provider. I've been the executive director of Women and Children's Free Restaurants since 2014. And prior to that, before coming to Spokane, I worked as a pro bono paralegal, helping low-income people navigate the legal system, mostly with family matters and that sort of thing. And I have an interest in serving on this board, really just to lend my experience with all of the agencies that I've worked with directly, and of course the clients. I have experience with strategic planning. I like problem solving and really just collaborative efforts to enhance the quality of life here in Spokane. I think Spokane is a true gem in the state, and I want to support your work if I can. I've had good interaction with this department, the CHHS department, over the years. Terrific people, and I would love to support the efforts that are being conducted there. So thank you, Barry. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Lisa. Now, Lisa works for an agency that receives HUD funding, so there's a conflict of interest there. I see Anne shaking her head. However, in our conflict of interest rules, it says you can apply for a waiver. That involves going to the city attorney and asking for a letter from the city attorney, which we have gotten. Mike Ormsby sent me that letter. The next step is to go to HUD and see if HUD will grant that waiver for Lisa.
Wow.
So I don't know how that will play out. This is a new one. My contact with Adrienne and with Anne who's shaking your head, I don't think this has been done in anyone's experience before. So this is, we're going to see if we can break new ground. Now, if she is granted the waiver through HUD, that doesn't mean she gets on the board. She said we're still going to interview her and all the other candidates and move forward from that. So that's where that is.
Barry,
Yes.
I work for an agency that receives HUD funding. We house our vets with HUD funding.
Oh, okay. And you've been under the radar then.
No, wait. It's not the HUD funding. It's the fact that, did I hear, Lisa, that you're still directly working with women's and
Yes.
the
Yes.
children's restaurant? We've always had a ruling, if you're getting funds, which you do still receive funds from CHHS, right? So good education piece for the board. We've always had a ruling, if you're getting funds, you can't be on the board. That's a conflict. If you've gotten a waiver, I'm shocked.
We're going to go through the process.
I think it'll be interesting. We had one woman who applied that was working with the YWCA. She started when she was going to be our school liaison. And then she went to the YWCA and they would not let us bring her on the board. So good, if you can do it, although there's some concerns.
I am testing that. I know that has been the way things have been done, right. But I appreciate Lisa's willing to do this. We are going to kind of push the envelope and see if we can get that waiver through HUD.
Great.
Because there are so many people in this community who because of that policy, are ruled out of this board who have
Right.
a lot of expertise and knowledge.
Right.
I understand the reason for it, but if a waiver is appropriate, then I'd like to see if that's an option.
Yeah, I agree, Barry. This is Jerry. I think that it'll be interesting to see how this plays out and then what potential doors it opens for bringing on others who might have some slight or, fall in that conflict of interest, but would be really great board members. So that'll be interesting. Also, I just want to say, to Gordon's point, our bylaws do specify that we have a VA, a representative from the VA.
Yeah.
So that's
correct.
actually in our bylaws. I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Gordon, you're good. Are you talking, Gordon? You're muted.
Just real quick, just to clarify, we're partners with Housing and Urban Development and
Yeah.
and this, Housing Authority. So work with them. We offer the case management part, and that's a little different, I guess.
Yeah. One more thing. Councilman Bingo, who is on this board, sent his regrets. He had to leave town on a family matter, and so he couldn't be here today. He had planned to be here and to introduce himself and talk about his role on the board, but I rescheduled him for the March meeting. So he will schedule to appear then and tell us about himself and his role on the board. Now, unless somebody wants to guide me in another direction, the agenda says board education, but I want to switch that and move to the discussion portion. And Jerry, let you get your items in and then you can leave. You're not feeling well enough to hang around.
Thank you so much, Barry. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so I've got two items on the agenda that I wanted to cover. The first one is quick. It's an update on the bylaws, since I brought that up a couple times already. So Anne and myself and Jason McAllister, who is also a board member, started the process to revise the bylaws sometime last year. It's something that happens periodically. I actually don't know if we were keeping with the consistent schedule of updating those, but it was time to update them. So the three of us volunteered. Jason and I were new board members and thought, what a good way to learn more about this board and its purpose. So rose our hand and volunteered for that. We came pretty close. We got pretty far in that process, but then at the peak of turmoil within the department, we decided to pause and see how, just see what was going on, see how things landed. And now it is time to revisit that, especially with Anne, especially as she just said, getting ready to term off the board with her last meeting next month. And we do not want to lose her history and knowledge. Want to make sure that she's able to have a say in those bylaws and have that kind of continuum from her experience. And so really it's kind of a basic process. The main things that we're interested in is aligning the bylaws with the actual ordinance and making sure that we are clear in outlining this board's authority and where this board gets its authority from, and it is that ordinance. So making sure that's clear, making sure that our purpose is really clear, and then we will bring that to you all next month for approval. We also are going to be pulling in Diane and Arlene. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on last names right now, but they were founding board members, both have really extensive experience and have been longtime RFP committee members. And so Anne and I are going to kind of take our final version to them just to get their insights and see if there's anything else with their experience and expertise that any guidance that they might have for us. And so we'll bring that finalized version to you all next month for presentation and action of approval.
Great, thank you. And that's Diane Zemke and Arlene Patton are the folks that you were referring to.
Thank you.
And I think your hope is to get the revisions done early enough so they can be sent out and we can have a chance to read them over and look them over, and then hopefully have an intelligent discussion on them in And what month is this? In March.
Yep.
All right. Thank you. Anything else on bylaws before?
That covers it for bylaws for me. I'll just turn to Anne really quick. Is there anything you'd add? And
It looks like Anne's
yeah,
camera's off, so she may be
stepped
off
away.
for a moment.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the next action item, which is the next agenda item. Oh,
Very before she jumps in, could you send that to me? We have Brian McClatchy, our policy director, on the line. We could take a look at those bylaw changes from council, and I think that might be beneficial before we get too far down the road. So just an offer.
yeah, Betsy, thank you so much for that offer. We'll definitely take you up on that. So we'll put that on our process as well to send that over. Can we just send it directly to you, Betsy?
No problem.
Okay,
Thanks.
that'd be really helpful, especially because there's a piece in there around interaction with city council. So being on the same page would be good.
Happy to help.
Great. So our next agenda item is an action from the RFP committee. So I will give the update. I'm going to call for a motion. I believe, Anne, I'll look to you to make sure that's correct. And then we've got Kelsey on the line as well. I thought I saw Kelsey. Yeah, Kelsey Martin, she's here. Turn to Kelsey if she's available to fill in anything I missed or correct anything I might have gotten wrong. So the RFP committee met late last month to take a look at some new funding that came in. This is additional ERA funding for rental assistance. Kelsey's been really fantastic about making sure that we've got plenty of funds for rental assistance. And we're running out. And so she applied for additional ERA funding. The ask was for $3 million, and what was received was somewhere around $230,000. So obviously much smaller than that requested amount. But the thing to note is apparently we were one of only 2 or so jurisdictions that actually received any funding at all. So it is noteworthy that we did receive that funding, even though it was much smaller than the requested amount. We had 3 options on the table with those dollars. Option 1 was to open up an RFP process and allow applicants to submit and request that funding. Option 2 was to proportionally allocate those dollars to the grant or to the providers that we had currently granted to. And then option 3 was to grant the dollars to just one of those providers. Since it's such a small dollar amount, really option 1 and 2 didn't make sense, really not feasible to ask new providers to apply for such a small amount. And if we divvied that amount up between the 3 current providers, which are Family Promise, Carl Maxey Center, and Live Stories, Family Promise and Carl Maxey Center would have gotten such a small amount, it probably would have been more effort than is worth that small amount. Excuse me. So really the choice that made the most sense was to grant those dollars, allocate those dollars to Live Stories, who has done a really great job at getting those dollars out into community, working with those community service providers to make sure that we are reaching those who really need it most and those who typically would not be able to access that through some of the larger providers. And so just that they have demonstrated being so successful, it was a pretty easy choice to allocate those dollars to endorse the recommendation to allocate those dollars to Live Stories. So I'm going to come back to that, but that's kind of the, kind of good news. We've got additional funding, even though it's a small amount. The bad news is that the funding, so we had at our January meeting, we had come to you with an action item to approve additional dollars to Live Stories and Carl Maxey. At this point, those dollars have already been fully allocated for requests that have come in. The city had to close the portal a few weeks ago, not taking in new applicants at this time. And really this additional $230,000 represents 2 days worth of requests for rental assistance. So it's good to have, but it really falls short of the need. So we are going to have a gap in rental assistance funding for some time here. Kelsey, again, has just done a fantastic job of raising this flag and really chasing dollars and trying to get more money, including participating on a statewide committee to establish a permanent rental assistance of funds. So I do want to turn to Kelsey before we go to the action item. I want to turn to Kelsey to fill in any of the blanks and correct any information and just give you all kind of an update on the state of rental assistance right now.
Thanks, Jerry. She totally covered it. So there's no holes that Jerry left for me to fill, at least. That being said, yes, the statewide rental assistance program is because of legislation that was passed last year. And so it's a permanent program that Commerce is partnering with a committee to basically build out right now. And so it's a stakeholder committee, and there is a buy-in for stipulation like the rental assistance dollars had that is built into legislation as well. And just last week, Commerce let us know that the funds likely will be available sooner than expected, which is good. I think municipalities like City of Spokane have been starting to raise the flag that the dollars are starting to be completely allocated, and Commerce heard that. And so likely the funds may be available as soon as July. So that's really exciting. Additionally, there is another program for rental assistance dollars that Commerce is opening the City of Spokane up to be able to access sooner than expected as well. And so potentially that contract I'm working with our rep right now on getting rolling as quick as possible. It's still kind of in their phases on approval on their end, on Commerce's end, but we are hopeful that a bridge to the permanent rental assistance program will be available sooner than expected.
Great, Kelsey, thank you. What action item do you need from us for that?
The action item for tonight would just be the full board recommendation for the reallocation dollars of the $234,000 to Live Stories for the additional ERA1 funds. The one thing I forgot to mention that both Jerry and I actually forgot to mention as well is that Treasury did open up a second reallocation application for municipalities that had allocated their first tranche of funds. And so the city applied for those dollars as well. And that I applied for that, I believe it was about 2 weeks ago. So I'm hopeful to hear the last time we applied, we heard about 6 weeks later. So we're hopeful to hear in the next 30 days or so if we'll get an additional award. So we are hoping to puzzle piece it in until this permanent program gets there in July. So for today, it would just be for that $234,000 for the board recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey, thank you for staying on those and chasing those dollars. Any discussion?
Yes.
Any discussion on the recommendation?
We don't have a formal motion before. Somebody didn't make it.
Yeah, we haven't done that yet.
Yeah, okay.
I think. Oh, go ahead, Barry.
Make a motion to recommend what you and Kelsey just said, Jerry.
Also move. I'll second.
And all those in favor say aye or wave your hands.
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstentions? Okay, motion passes. Thank you very much. So Jerry, you can sign off if you like.
Thank you. I likely will. I appreciate that, moving the agenda items around. And the other thing I'll just say too is Kelsey, to you, Would love to continue to get updates on how that's going with this board, and please, call on the RFP committee anytime that you need us.
Happy to. I think I probably will be doing it more often now that there's all of these new additional, funding sources coming and new contracts starting. So be ready to hear more from me.
Great, thank you.
Barry, if I could, as well as for Kelsey, just I know that Tim Crowley from my team sent an email to Eric Finch on it. Just for your awareness, the Spokane Workforce Council was awarded $200,000 for homeless prevention funding. I do not know what their current amount was because this was last fall, but it is funding available for all eligible individuals of Spokane County, including City of Spokane. So I know it's not a lot of money, but if you're patching things together, it might help a little bit.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's great news.
And I'll just put in a plug here with Anne going off the board. Was it April 1st you're done?
Yeah, but I won't be at the April meet. It's actually
Yeah.
the end of April, but I will be at the April meeting.
Okay. Anne is currently on the RFP committee. We generally have 2 board members on each committee, and when Anne's going off, we're going to look for another person to hopefully step up to the RFP committee. Just stick that in your back of your head and think if that's something you would like to do to be of service. Okay, let's go back to, in the agenda, back to the 4:10 to 4:30 slot, Board Education, Neighborhood Community Development Program, NCDP. George, can you give us that, George?
Yeah, hi everyone. Good to see some familiar faces on this meeting. So I was asked to give, sorry, my video is not working. I tried to turn it on. Let me see if I can, there we go. I exist. So I was asked to give an update on where things are at with the Neighborhood Community Development Program. So so for those that aren't familiar, this is a program that we have with the neighborhood councils. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here for reference. We did a public hearing last January on this, and this was just a review of the projects and putting them into action for the 2020 annual action plan. So for reference, 2020 annual action plan starts July 1 and goes through June 30th. Oftentimes this gets confused where folks will think that the funds have gone away if it's beyond that period of time. That is not the case. CDBG is one of the unique programs that allows you to carry funds forward. The challenge that we run into is when we have too many projects stacked up and we don't meet what's called the timeliness test. That's not a concern here. So I'm gonna hurt your eyes for a minute here as I scroll down to some of the relevant slides. So this is a listing of the different projects. You can see all these are capital projects in nature. We've got a couple of parking lot projects. We've got the Habitat for Humanity derelict housing program, some community center work, etc. The update on these projects is that we have been in a staffing. We've had a staffing issue, as most of you are aware of, within CHHS that's prohibited us from having the bandwidth to really conduct these procurements. Each one of these procurements requires a tremendous amount of oversight and monitoring to ensure compliance. And I believe I shared with you all the results of a recent monitoring that we had with HUD back in September of 2021 that resulted in several findings. And those findings are the result of moving forward with projects when we don't have adequate staffing to ensure all the compliance steps are met. So we've been in a holding pattern. The good news is that CHHS is rebuilding. We've got great leadership, and we recently hired a position that's been vacant for just over 2 years that is our contract compliance officer who owns all of these procurements. So we're starting to prep for onboarding there. So hopefully this spring we'll be able to unlock some of these projects that have been sitting stale. So that's just brief update on that, and happy to answer any questions.
I guess, George, one of the questions I might have is how, because staffing is obviously an issue. Is there a number of staff you're going to need? Do you have a sense of when they'll be hired or that kind of thing?
Well, we have one FTE to be able to help with all of this. There's not just a backlog in these neighborhood community development program projects, but there are other projects that require significant oversight. So I know we have in our budget one FTE. We certainly could use some additional help, but we'll have a backlog that we'll be working through to start with, and then kind of evaluating from there. We do have a limited amount of resources to be able to staff appropriately. So I guess we'll continue to do the best we can with what we have. Yeah.
So how we can roll the funds, but what's the window of time that we're hoping for completion? Or is that based on staffing also?
Yeah, a lot of this is based off of staffing, on getting this stuff rolling.
Okay, thanks.
And if I may, just in support of George and on CHHS, this is, Eric, the interim director for Neighborhood Housing and Human Services. We've come a long way in 6 months. We've got, I think, 6 of the vacancies filled. We've got basically another, another 6 to go through, and there's broad support, in the city for additional staff positions. But what I've also told them is that we need to get the ones, hired that we have vacant, right? And then I think it's going to be a little bit easier and better for us to ask. George has done a good job in terms of bringing on, both some temporary and project resources in order to kind of help in the meantime. So, as we get some of these things activated, it will certainly help. But as we, I think, have that better picture in terms of what we need next, we'll make sure that we give you visibility to that.
Anything else for George? Catherine, did you want to talk about the Housing Action Subcommittee?
I am trying to find what I sent you.
Oh, I've got it. I don't know. Can I share my screen?
Sure, that'd be great. Yeah, that would facilitate things a lot.
This is exciting. Let's see if I can do that.
Yeah, because I'm also the CA liaison to the Housing Action Subcommittee, it just seemed that it would be useful for the board to be aware of the kinds of things that are happening there. And I have totally lost you.
See if I can. So did I put up the Washington State Legislature? If I did, I didn't mean to. There we go. This is what you sent me, Catherine, right?
All right, and I'm trying to find you. Just a minute. Too many things open.
Am I not sharing the screen?
Okay, there you are. All right. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I can read it. Let's see. Yeah, we haven't done a whole lot, which is probably a good thing, because of the holidays and all that kind of stuff. So there's not a ton to report. But we've been listening to some of the other things that have been happening in the city and in the state. There is a real concern on the committee about the missing middle of housing. And so there's been a lot of talk about that. I don't know what we're going to be doing about that, but we're trying to learn about what that means, and to see if there are options for dealing with it. If you could go back up a little bit. let's see. Yeah, the thing about housing options per capita that came out of the state was really interesting because it really changes the way you look at numbers when you think about that. And we're way at the bottom in terms of the options that we offer for people per capita. And so that's part of the missing middle piece as well. How do we're really seeing the need to do something quickly. And I don't know that there are lots of options for doing anything quickly that are being offered at this particular point in time. There's been some concern from WashDOT. When WashDOT bought land to do the freeway, they had thoughts about what they would need and where it would be. And as they've gotten closer to actually building that, some things are not going to be needed, and some things haven't been torn down and are available for reuse, but WashDOT is constrained in terms of how they can do that. So there is work to get waivers basically so that WashDOT could lease or allow for use of those buildings that they have at less than that market value. That means that would become more affordable. So there's some work on that as well. And then the tenants union, Terry shared a lot of the current bills that are happening and talking about support and involvement that we could have with that. So there's a list there for you on all those things and the bill numbers. If you have interest, I would certainly recommend that we look at it. And I don't know how we as a board have involved ourselves and what the legal things are about that. So maybe Anne or Betsy would have a better sense of, or even George might actually have a better sense of what the board's legal constraints are in terms of working at the state legislative piece.
Yeah. But I really.
Thank you, Barry.
Betsy, do you want to follow up on any of that?
Sure. So just to answer your question, council does have a legislative team, and we go through our priorities and the bills that we are supporting. And we do have a list that we agreed on. We have a tier 1 and a tier 2. So we are supporting Senate Bill 5670. That's the missing middle piece. We are also supporting Senate Bill 5755, which authorizes cities to establish a local sales tax and use incentive programs to encourage redevelopment of vacant land. We are also supporting Senate Bill 5853. That's the release of that WashDOT land that's not needed. Something else that wasn't on our radar that did come up on our radar is House Bill 1620, and that's to have the military department develop and implement an extreme weather response grant program in response to community needs during extreme weather or cold. So we do have a process. We've got that. So I will make it a point next year, we go through this, to bring our policy person before this board and have them go over that. I don't think that's ever happened. So thank you for that. I'll make sure that happens. But we do have a process where we support as council.
Thank you, Betsy.
Anything we can do to support you in the processes that have impact housing that you are supporting?
There has been testimony. So we have, council has been testifying a lot these last couple of weeks on bills that supported, but really it's just being aware, and you could write in, you could phone in person, or you could just sign up and check pro or con. I mean, so there are some easy things that can be done just to know, to show we're in support of that. But again, I will make sure that this group is engaged sooner than later on our next round of bills, legislative agenda.
Great, thank you very much. Anything else on either of those before I move on to the next agenda item? Brian, pit count, can you do that for us?
I can see the clouds.
Sure.
Here. From up at that. Yeah.
Can you guys see this okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so yeah, Brian Walker, the communications manager for the NHHS division, which includes CHHS. And the Office of Neighborhood Services, as well as 311. So those are the departments that I serve. So I'm on the pit count team, and before there was even a pit count this year, we had news on the pit count, as with many community events, and that was due to the spike of virus cases. The pit count was delayed a month, so it is now scheduled for February 24th, and that's the sheltered portion, and the unsheltered portion will be February 25th through March 1st, and that's the count is countywide. It's just not it's not just a citywide function, even though the city is tasked with organizing the count. It is a countywide a function. And just some general information about the pit count for those of you, to bring you up to speed really quick. It is an annual estimate, and I put estimate in italics there because some people might think it's an exact number, but it is an estimate. The counts are nationwide, so we're just one of many communities throughout the county for this count. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, fine.
Okay, sounds good. And there's about it takes an army to pull this off. We need about 100 volunteers. As of last week, we had 33. We're up to 90 this week, thanks to social media outreach, the internet, and so it's spreading like wildfire. So I don't want to jinx the rhythm so far, but we are up to about 90, which is a great number to have. And we're going to have online training provided. Volunteers can choose between 2, 4, 6, and 8 hour time slots. And on the app where they sign up for the event, they can choose the date as well. So there's a lot of flexibility. There will be no in-person trainings this year due to the virus concerns. As I mentioned earlier, counts are required by HUD, and the surveys are conducted according to HUD regulations. So a little bit of background. Last year, there was a total of 1,559 people, and that was in 2020, excuse me. The last full year a count was conducted. Last year, there was a partial count, and that was the sheltered only portion. Another development this year was Amira Julovich was tapped as the pit count coordinator in October. So we have more organization this year for the pit count. So she hit the ball running. Other staff members involved I listed there, from Eric and Jen to myself. We have an outreach coordinator who's reaching out to the other communities. And we have our HMIS and CMIS team on down to Mike Lopez working with us on the safety front. So a lot of involvement. And here's a slide, a flyer that we put out to recruit some volunteers that you might have seen on social media. Why is the data important? It determines trends, and it helps us plot the future in terms of planning, and we're able to use the information data on grant applications as well. So there's different ways the data is used, and that's important. As I mentioned earlier, the virus factor bumped the event a month, and that decision was made on consultation with the health district and our partners. Some of our partners include the Homeless Coalition and other organizations of the big community-wide event, Homeless Connect. That's at the Spokane Convention Center, March 1st. So our back end of our pit count will serve as a census taking point, central spot at the convention center to kill two birds with one stone. And so we appreciate the partnership of the Homeless Coalition and the community groups behind that Homeless Connect. There's a lot of partners. I'll just mention them really quick. The COC, they're involved. Homeless Connect, I mentioned. Providers, they will be doing some of the pit count. The ones that have access to the CMIS data system, they'll be helping us out with the sheltered count. And one unique partnership we have going on this year that I wanted to mention was the Eastern Washington University, the Urban Planning Department, and some graduate students are helping us so that they're getting real life experience with the pit count and working with our city staff. So we're providing some education experience for them. So we appreciate Eastern Washington. Again, a lot of in the community help out, other government agencies from the city of Spokane Valley, SNAP is involved. So we're really reaching out to our partners to get as accurate of a count as possible for our homeless services. One side event, we didn't spotlight this earlier on because we didn't want to confuse the pit count, but there was a temporary warming shelter at the convention center, and the city administration wanted us to survey the homeless folks there, and so we took some data there. But being that it was surveys and data and right around the same time, we kind of wanted to make sure that there was enough separation between the pit count and the warming center survey, which was a side project that came along. So I mentioned earlier our volunteer portal online. This is the portal that you see online. It's a real simple way to just hit the register button and it'll take you there. You can choose the dates and this is the address that you can click on, which is also on our pit count city website as well. So if any of you want to join and help out, you can visit our city website, Ending Homelessness and the pit count, or this link will take you to the volunteer recruitment. Against teamwork makes the dream work. So can't thank our volunteers enough for this. So on the surveys, getting into the surveys themselves, HUD requires 23 questions. I didn't list them all, but some of them ask whether if this is the first time they're homeless, the longevity of homeless, the age, gender, and race, and some of the other questions are listed there. All the questions are on an app. They're not on hard copies. So we have volunteers download the app, and that app, all the information is taken online through this app. The surveys are not mandatory, even though we highly encourage them to get as accurate of a count as we can. The surveys are conducted by community volunteers, government staffs, and providers, and the data must be turned in to HUD as required by HUD by the end of April. And that's the same deadline as before when the pit count was scheduled in late January. Just to give you guys an indication, it is a county-wide count, and sometimes we forget about how big our county is. It goes all the way from Deer Park. It includes Cheney, Airway Heights, all the way over, of course, Spokane Valley is a big part of it as well, and Liberty Lake. So we're trying to reach out to those areas and develop partnerships to get an accurate count. So that's just a reminder of how big our county is. This is an org chart that we have in the works of how we're going to organize our volunteers. I'll start at the bottom and work our way to the top. So the volunteers are primarily census takers. They report to team leads, and our team leads include the city of Spokane Valley. This is just some of them. Frontier Behavioral Health, SNAP. So these are some examples of team leads, and they report to what, depending on the subject, to our health and safety officer, our staging area manager, and we have a mapping and technology support. That those three supervisor positions report to the incident command, and our incident command this year is going to be on the ground level of City Hall. We have some break rooms there that we're reserving for people to recharge their batteries, both for the volunteers, both literally and figuratively. So in a little break point for our volunteers. I won't get into all the duties, but we have outlined duties of each the volunteers, the team leads, all the way up to incident command on what their division of duties are for the pit count. We've reached out to the media for volunteer recruitment and to let them know about the date change. And we sent out a press release a couple weeks ago about that. Some of the stories have been in the Spokesman Review. You see here, KHQ, and Journal of Business. We plan to reach out to media about different aspects of the pit count. Our Eastern Washington partnership might be an example of that, in addition to the number itself. And we do have FAQs posted on the city website, our central location for the pit count as well. Just some side notes. If any local officials, the mayor or elected officials want to join us at the pit count, just let me know, and we can let you observe the process and be a part of it. Some options there might be at the Homeless Connect, at the convention center, or other points of the point in time count. So keep that in mind if anybody wants to observe. I'm happy to coordinate that. With COVID this year, it is still happening. We worked with Mike Lopez on all the regulations that need to happen. They will be, all volunteers will be given masks and identification in different products for protection as much as possible. Another event that assists the homeless, the Stand Down for Veterans, that'll be held later and is a separate event. So if you have any questions, Amira is our pit count coordinator. Here's her email address. Again, here's our central website. It's our main city website, endinghomeless/point in time count. And here's a look at our website that we have. So with that, that concludes my presentation, and I can answer any questions.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Just tonight, Barry. It's okay. So I just want to question, when you did the survey at the shelter, are you going to share those numbers, or is Eric or someone going to share the data that was collected there?
Do you mean the warming center, Betsy?
The warming center, yes, at the convention center for those 2 weeks. Where is that data at?
Is Eric on this call?
Betsy, this is Jen. We do have this data. I think Eric is on the call. And I think we reported out some of this data at some of the daily meetings that we were having. But Eric, I don't know if you want to weigh in about what other groups have seen that data.
Before Eric, I just think it's important that this group has that information if it has not been shared with them.
I absolutely agree. I think we can put on that we can send out the data for sharing to this group.
Thank you, Betsy. I was going to bring up the exact same point.
Thank you, council member, for that question. We appreciate it.
Anybody else, question or comment for Brian? I know this is a huge undertaking, and thank you for all your efforts on it.
Absolutely. I'm proud to be a part of it, and with just a lot from volunteer recruitment to to making it happen, to coordinate with HUD. There's a lot of behind the scenes works that goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else? Questions, comments? Councilor Bryan? Okay. Then, looking back to the agenda, I have reaffirm approved standing committees. I have not had the chance to go to all the listed committee members. I have talked with all the board members who are on standing committees. So I think we can, at least at this point, I can ask for a motion to, and I'll mention what I have here, to reaffirm that on the Affordable Housing Committee, we have Adrienne and myself. And on the RFP Committee, we have Anne and Jerry. And on the Executive Committee, we have Adrienne, me, Bob, Catherine, and Jerry. So I think that that's an action item. So do I have any discussion, or is there a motion to affirm, approve those board members on those standing committees?
Motion to reaffirm board members on the standing committee as indicated.
Thank you, Betsy.
Hey, Barry.
And is that a second, Gordon?
Actually, I wanted to say I've been on the Affordable Housing Committee. Now, am I off it now, or you didn't mention it?
Yeah, actually, I see your name here and it is underlined. Do you wish to be reaffirmed on that committee?
I wonder why I'm on there, you know. But I listen and learn. If I'm needed to be, you know, once this workforce thing takes off, I probably would like to step down. So I don't know, maybe it should.
I didn't discuss this with you, sorry, but I was thinking, since I know your effort is more in workforce, that maybe you wouldn't mind. We don't need you on the Affordable Housing Committee. It's more something that if you would like to be on it, we definitely can.
I would like to step down and devote more time to researching this other thing.
Okay, then the original motion, which Betsy has put forward, still stands. Any seconds? And Gordon seconds. Any discussion? And say aye or wave your hands to affirm that motion. Any objections? Nope. Any abstentions? Nope. Okay. Thank you very much. Let's see. I think the next thing on here is director's report. Jan.
Okay, hello everyone. It has been about a month since the last CHHS meeting, which was the very first week that I started. So I'm a little bit less dazed, but still drinking from a fire hose. We have a lot going on. I know some of the you guys had some questions for George around staffing. We are still actively working on filling some of those positions. We have two program manager positions with which we have applicants that we're going to be working on getting in for interviews. So we're moving swiftly through that. You all have seen the information that's come out from Kelsey about the rental assistance. That's been a process as well, making sure that we were checking all of our boxes, informing everybody correctly about what the program was capable of, choosing to pause the portal for now. And we're hoping for some good news for some additional funding here, hopefully on a more permanent basis, but that remains to be seen. I did want to let you all know that we have had Cassie has accepted another job and will be leaving the CHHS department. And we're really excited for her. She has a great opportunity for growth, but it will leave a hole in our department that we're working on figuring out how to fill. So that is something else that we have going on. We have the upcoming COC retreat, which is on the 14th. And I know that that's technically run by the COC board, but we provide a lot of support for that group as well and are hoping to really utilize that time period to get a lot of our partners on board with a strategic plan for how we want to kind of align resources going forward. I believe some or many or all of you, I think all of you should have been on the email list for that. So if for some reason you did not get that email invite and you would like it, please reach out and let us know, and we're glad to forward it on to you. And if there's somebody that you think should attend who didn't hear about it, please feel free to forward them the invite as well. Just looking at my list here. I think those are sort of the main things that we have going on. Obviously, Brian already covered the point in time count, and that's a big push right now that we're working on. And just trying to catch up on some information requests that we have from like the state auditor's office regarding some prior performance and kind of how we address that with some of our providers. So we're working on that. And then continuing to look for a location to solidify for a warming center, which I know is top of mind for everyone, especially making sure that we're adhering to the Spokane Municipal Code that requires that we have one open for folks when the temperature does dip below 32 degrees. So we're actively working on that, and we really hope to have an update provided sooner rather than later on a location that we can open for that. And I'm open to any questions, and hopefully I didn't forget anything.
Dan, I'm amazed that you've stepped into this and you're doing so well. It is, I would be I'm overwhelmed being just the board chair for a month, and you got a lot more to do.
Well, thank you, Barry. I have a great team of folks that are here supporting me, and then all of you. So I'm very grateful to have such a great group of people to be working with.
Thank you. Anybody else? Questions, comments for Jen? And the next thing on the agenda is City Council update. Betsy.
I don't know what's going on at City Council, but I'm going to focus tonight a little bit on the ARPA money. And there are 3 proposals before us I think will directly impact this committee. One is homeless capital and operational costs. We're setting aside $3 million, and that is to support low-income housing and buildings in the city. And it will be through an RFP process. The next one is $1 million that we set aside for youth behavioral services. A lot came in on youth and behavioral health. So that will also go through an RFP process. And these categories are broad, so we can cast the widest net as to what our community needs. And the other one that's coming forth is 1.2 million for the Chaz Clinic to do a mobile clinic. I would have thought we had one, but we don't. And so we will be looking to fund that going forward. We are still challenged with getting this ARPA money out the door quickly, because once it's identified, it has to go through an RFP, then the RFPs have to be reviewed, and then, so I'm hoping, this is February, I'm hoping the middle of, or 1st of April, and that sounds like a long time, but I'm saying that because with these RFPs, we are actually soliciting community members who are vested or who have some specialty in these areas. So to help balance out the administration and city council. So a community engagement perspective. And that is something new. I want y'all to know that the city of Spokane is ahead of everybody else in our region around even getting the thought process about getting ARPA dollars out the door. So I'm proud of it, but I'm not proud that it's been so slow. Other than that, we're keeping the lights on at City Hall and following City Hall guidelines. Into my report.
Thanks, Betsy. Any comments or questions for Betsy? Okay, thank you, Betsy. Committee updates, Affordable Housing Committee. The representatives on that would be myself, Gordon, and Adrienne. And I don't have anything to report. We haven't met in a while. You got anything to report, Gordon?
No.
Oh, okay, that report was pretty quick. RFP committee, see, that would be Jerry and Ann. Both of them have left the meeting. So I think that report will be pretty quick. Although we did get a couple of things in this meeting about some RFPs that are on their way. What else? Do we need anything else or can we adjourn?
I'll move to
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
All righty, we have a motion to adjourn.
Have a good
I'll
night,
second it.
everybody.
We got a second. All right. Those in favor, wave your hands or say aye. Yeah, I like to get people moving.
Aye.
Okay, any nays? Any abstentions? Thank you all so much. Thank you for being here. See you next month. Executive committee. See you in 2 weeks.
Thanks, Barry.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Be in touch, Barry.
Thank you. Bob, I'll send you that invite.